So today's icebreaker is I want you to tell us your name, and then I want you to tell us what is your favorite part about online learning. Not a hard question at all, but what's your favorite part? So let's start at the bottom with some of the people who are not on video. Let's start at the bottom with Jacob. So Jacob, what is your favorite part about online learning?
I'm Jacob, and I guess my favorite part would probably be less scheduled. I guess it's more, you have more free time, I guess. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, but I guess it's my favorite part.
Fair, very fair. Good. How about you, Diamond?
In all actuality, I kind of don't like it at all.
You can't think of anything you like about it?
No, because I just feel like everything is more vigorous because they're trying to you're probably the only teacher that hasn't put a whole bunch of just extra unnecessary stuff on us, but I feel like a lot of teachers are just trying to throw a whole bunch of stuff together because they probably didn't do anything from the start of semester until when we shut down. I'm just being honest. I'm sorry.
You can. I just want to say, gosh, I'm so glad I never wonder how you feel, Diamond. That's funny. Cool. How about you, Allie?
Hey, so my favorite part about online learning would probably be just the fact that it's very flexible and I can be doing whatever I need to be doing around my house, and then I can just pop over to my computer and start class, and I don't have to worry about traveling and walking somewhere and being late.
Okay, cool. Slade?
To be honest, I don't like it as much, but that is one thing that is nice, is being able to kind of do it whenever you can.
Mm-hmm.
Do any schoolwork, but also makes you procrastinate too. So that's also a problem.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, Shamaya.
Hey, I'm Shamaya. The only thing that I like about online classes is that I could do it from anywhere, and just that it's a lot more flexible than having to get up and run the class. I really don't like it, but that's the only positive I can think of.
Okay, that's good enough. All you needed was one.
Hey, hold on, real quick. I just found out that Sean Duffy was Bam Bam.
Okay, well then tell Sean to try to get back in.
I told him to put their real names.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's funny. Okay, where were we? Dalton.
Hey, I'm Dalton. This is my first time working Zoom, so I hope all y'all can hear me.
We can.
My favorite part about online classes is that I can lay here in bed and roll over and join class.
Cool. I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Kyle?
Yeah, my favorite part's probably the fact that I had a test earlier and I literally just woke up, rolled out of bed, and took the test real fast and got a nap before this class. So
I wish I could sleep that well. That's cool. Hey, Lucas.
Hey, my favorite part, probably not having to get out of bed. It's kind of cool just waking up and opening my laptop and just joining. So yeah.
Yeah, good. Hey, Reagan.
Hey, I'm Reagan. My favorite part of online learning is it's a little bit more flexible and it's easier to work at my own pace.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. How about you, Peyton?
Hey, my favorite part is probably just the fact that you can do it wherever, but I'm still just not really a big fan of it.
Okay, gotcha. How about you, Caitlin?
I'd probably have to agree with everyone else that the convenience of it is nice, where you can do your school wherever you want.
Yeah, I hear you. How about you, Macy?
I think my favorite and my least favorite part are the same. It's really convenient because I can do it wherever I want, and most of my classes I can do it on my own time.
Mm-hmm.
But it also takes a lot more motivation and like self-discipline.
Ah, yeah. How about you, Casey?
I think my favorite part is that professors are like a little more responsive with their emails now.
That's very fair. That's true. It's funny. Oh, let me let Sean in real quick. See if I can get over here. Okay, Bam Bam's in class now. How about you, Sophie?
Hey, I'm Sophie, and I would say my favorite part is probably just kind of being able to work at my own pace and finish up some of my classes before the end of the semester.
Ah, good. Cool. Anna.
Yeah, I like how I can wake up at 11 for this class. So.
Yeah. It's 11:11, everybody. Make a wish. Chase.
I like how it allows me to travel and also do school at the same time.
So where are you going?
Well, I just got back from LA for spring break, but now I'm either going to go to Nashville or Charlotte. Once the
Do
romance.
what?
Real estate.
Okay. I got some connections in Charlotte. We should talk after class.
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. Hey, Bo. Bo, you're on mute, man.
Sorry about that. My favorite part is probably being able to go back to Blackboard and rewatch a class lecture in case you missed anything. Most of my
That's
teachers.
cool. Yeah, okay. That's cool. Hey, Kennedy.
Hey, I'm Kennedy. I would say my favorite part is just like the flexibility and, like Bo said, being able to rewatch stuff in case you miss something.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Nicholas.
Hi. I'd say my favorite thing is that usually at this point in the semester, we get kind of off the class schedule and we've gotten like new, more structured schedules for all my classes.
Oh, so insightful. Cool. Hey, Mason.
Hello, Mason. I guess my favorite part would be that, like, now that I'm back home, my mom can bring me breakfast while I'm in the middle of a class.
Mama's boy. Oh my goodness. How's the weather aren't you in Michigan?
Yeah, it's not too bad right now. A little rainy, but it's like 50 degrees, so not too cold.
Okay, cool. What's up, Sam? Frazier. Sorry.
Sam, I guess my favorite thing is just having extra free time during the day, not being like caught up in classes.
I hear you. Okay. Let's come down here and catch a couple of people. Seth and Sean, the icebreaker is your name and what is your favorite part of online learning, okay? So Sean, what's your favorite part? Sean, if you're trying to talk to me, you're on mute. If you're not trying to talk to us, you're still on mute. Bam, bam. Just pretending. How about that? Hey, Seth. You with us? Seth Owen. So let's just sit around and talk about Sean and Seth. What do y'all want to say about? Oh, see, Seth popped in then.
You're muted. Sorry. My favorite part about the online learning is probably that the classes are just a lot shorter. I feel like we get a lot more done in a shorter amount of time with the online learning.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, Sean, are you with us? Sean, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that. I'm driving on my phone, and apparently my microphone wasn't on in the settings.
Okay, no problem. What's your favorite part of online learning?
To be honest, I really don't like it, but I guess my favorite part, I've been having a lot of stuff going on that I've needed to like go attend, so being able to leave whenever and not have to exactly worry a lot about school is pretty cool.
Okay. Awesome. Cool. Peyton, did you go?
Yes, I went.
Okay, I thought so. My board got rearranged, so I'm making sure I'm keeping up with everybody. So Brandon.
Yes, I got in a little late. I was having some problems.
That's all right. So the icebreaker is your favorite part of online learning.
Probably the flexibility, I guess, just because I only have one class that does Zoom like at a specific time like this, which is like this class. So every other class I can kind of just do my work like really late at night, 'cause, like I stay up super late. So it's good for, I guess, people like me, because I have a lot of hours during the day that are usually unproductive.
Okay, cool. How about you, Nathaniel?
Let's see, like I'm kind of in the same boat. If I don't love the online learning, it's been a lot more difficult than I anticipated it being, just kind of keeping up to date on my stuff. Just, it's just easy to, like just a lot more like discipline and consistency. But it's just the flexibility has been nice. I can just kind of do whatever I want basically.
Okay, gotcha. How about you, Chase?
Oh yeah, I already went.
Okay. Your video now. That messed me up. Hey, Kyle.
There we go. Kyle, I'd say the best thing about online learning, I like it when I choose it, but when it's kind of forced on me, I'm not a big fan of it, but I'd say the flexibility is probably the best part.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How about you, Ian?
I've never liked online classes, but I guess it's nice. Like, I had some professors who, would keep us the full hour 15 and talk about uninteresting stuff. And they would just be like not fun classes. So it's nice to just be able to, they tell us what to do and we do it. That's it. Wasn't throwing shade at you. You have a great class, but
It's your story. You can tell it any way you want. Happy birthday, by the way, to somebody.
Oh, thank you. It's my birthday.
Hi, today?
Yeah.
Are you 21?
No, I'm only 20.
Babies, well, happy birthday. Happy quarantine birthday. I'd give you some toilet paper for a present if I could see you. It's like the best birthday present ever right now.
I know.
Who do we have next? Okay, so you don't have your name on here, W. Zako, and I don't have the name in my head. Darn it.
It's William.
William. Golly.
Yeah. My favorite part is that we have probably less work now. Like I know some of my professors, and they're more lenient. Like they took out some assignments and stuff, so we have less to do now.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, Kat. You're on mute. Kat.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
My favorite part is that I don't have to deal with parking on campus.
You're the first person to say that. That's brilliant. That's cool. How about you, Gibson?
It's allowed me to be more productive with work, so I guess that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Good. How about you, Alan Hamilton?
I would say probably the convenience, as well as I think I get my homework done a little quicker because I'm more focused on just getting it done, right then and there, rather than kind of spacing it out with my other classes.
Okay, cool. Maureen, how about you?
Hi, I'm Maureen. My favorite thing would kind of be like everyone else said, just convenience and rolling out, not really rolling out of bed, but waking up in bed and going to class. And then I don't like not having a schedule because I used to have a routine every day.
Yeah.
And I don't like not having that. I feel lazy.
Oh, I gotcha. How about you, Elise?
Hey, I'm Elise. I'd say just the accessibility of everything and being able to make your own schedule.
Ah, okay. Connor?
Hey, I'm Connor, and I think someone else said it, but all the professors have kind of been forced to revise the class schedules, so that kind of helps keep structure and order and stuff, so I really like that.
Okay. Yeah. Sam?
Hi, I'm Sam. I would say I can just do things at my own pace so I can try and finish my easier classes before the semester ends so I can just focus on my other classes.
Yeah. It's very cool. Tyler?
Yeah, I like just having everything online and available, but I'm not really that much of a fan of being on my computer all day.
How about you, Brooke?
I don't really like the online learning, which is kind of funny because I used to do it a lot in high school for like through the community college, but like now it's just kind of inconvenient because I feel like my teachers are giving us a lot more work and then some of them are giving us less work, which makes it so there's less points in the class. So.
Okay. Gotcha. Did I get everybody? I'm Gina, and my favorite part is that I'm barefoot. I don't have to wear shoes to work. Given a choice, like coming into the fall, what would you want your learning to look like? Anybody choose to stay online, or what would you want to do?
I definitely want it to go back to normal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What else?
Maybe have a little bit more options on what classes you can take online, because I guess doing like the ones that you deem like less important for your future, I guess, like some of the classes aren't as important as others.
Rather than having lectures with 400 people, maybe. I just wondered if any of this would like, so I'm asking all this for my personal curiosity, but also just to think, because as an entrepreneur, I tend to live in the future. So I'm always thinking 2 steps ahead of what's happening right now. And what I find really intriguing and interesting is we were forced to do the online learning. So everyone's doing it. But what is that going to mean for the new normal? What kind of paradigm shift is going to come from this? Because you were all forced to do something that you wouldn't have done before. So were we. But will that change market demand? And so I find that super interesting because we know in entrepreneurship, it's all about what the market demands. And right now, the university's super concerned about student retention and about people coming back. And so I'm just curious to find out, like, you're the market. I was just curious what y'all are thinking.
I've been thinking like ever since this started, the people who started telecommuting to work, I think, a decent percentage are never going to go back to the office after this. I think this is probably the push that's going to lead to a permanent shift.
I'm wondering about that too, because what you find is that for me, when it comes to having a job, whether it's owning my own company or teaching or whatever, like my number one value is autonomy. And I hear that from a whole lot of you. Like, I love the flexibility of the schedule. I'm going to work 40, 60 hours a week, but I want to pick my 40 or 60 hours a week, right? And I want to pick where I do it. So it's going to be super interesting because I hear that from a lot of you talking about the flexibility.
I definitely think there'll be a lot less in-person meetings like at work, since like everyone's been forced to kind of do like the Zoom stuff. Now people are a lot more comfortable and they know that they can like hold a successful meeting without having everyone be there in person.
It's a lot cheaper too. And then of course there are these problems that pop up. Say good morning and then go away.
Good morning, hold on.
She wants to, I don't know. What are you checking for? Oh, she's looking at your names. So, bye. Okay. She's going to be so grounded if she doesn't get out.
Bye.
Bye.
That's Kennedy's last name.
Bye.
There's something in chat.
Okay.
I need to check that.
All right, guys. So with all of that, the Bam Bam movement has begun. If y'all all change your name to Bam Bam, y'all are not getting in the class, by the way. Here's a funny for y'all. And I'll share this with you. This is like totally off subject, but I, as a person, am enjoying the Zoom and this kind of thing because I learned things about you guys that I wouldn't know. So we get to know each other in a different level, and it's really pretty cool because I really like the connection that I have with the students. But that means you also learn things about me, like you learn how annoying my 11-year-old can be, but also you learn how curious she is and how much she wants to be a part of this class. One thing that you don't know about me is that I have a super unhealthy fear of snakes, like super unhealthy fear of snakes. I've been told I need to go to therapy more than once because it's really bad. Well, someone in my 9:30 class during the whole like Zoom thing, and when it was time for that person to say what their favorite thing was, started playing with their python. I almost had complete come apart in class. Complete. So
I just bought a rat to go feed my python. No
do
joke.
not ever show me your python on here, your snake, the pet. Never. I will fail you.
I literally had her out like 30 minutes ago. If we had class, she would have been like on my face with the camera on.
That is snake equals F in Gina's class. And I'm going to start putting that in my syllabus.
But I've had her since I was 4. She's my baby.
Good for you. Good for you. No. No. So we'll keep moving. Don't ever show me that, Sean. We'll keep moving, and we will talk a little bit today about class and moving forward and financials, and we'll do just a couple of things today. I hope that by now, I haven't posted a video for you, and I haven't posted on purpose, and that's because chapters 37, 38, and 39 are pretty long. And I hope that all of you have had a chance to get your book and to go look at those. What we're going to talk about in financial statements here is, this is kind of like a deep dive into learning a new language. And so you guys need to really jump in and take it seriously and look at those chapters. After today, we'll talk today about the framework that I'm going to teach you financial statements within, and I'll give you a little bit of a heads up on how we're going to talk about it. But from there, I really want you to jump in and start to learn about this stuff. So lie to me and tell me that you've all had a chance to review chapters 37, 38, and 39, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. See how easy that is? Do you guys have any questions so far about that info? Nah? Okay. Well, here's the thing. When we start talking about financial statements, you need to understand financial statements are a necessary evil. And when I came through the business school getting the same degree that most of you are getting, which was like 2 years ago, because like that's how old I am, I made all A's except for 2 C's. I made a C in accounting and I made a C in finance. And it's not that I can't do it, it's that I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it at all. And it's really hard to apply yourself to something that you don't enjoy. And at that time, I absolutely hated it. What I have learned through my career, however, is that learning how to read financial statements and construct them is necessary, because money and the financial statements are your great performance measure. We learned, that most people don't go into business strictly for the money. Most entrepreneurs do it for other reasons, whether it's autonomy, the freedom. And you guys are experiencing that right now. When you're doing your online learning, you're figuring out like, hey, I like flexibility and autonomy. That's one of the #1 reasons people open their own business. Or it's about, I need to fulfill a purpose, whatever we learned about at the beginning of the semester. It's never truly, for the successful ones, about money. Money is the performance measure that tells you how well you're doing. And so you need to be able to look at your financial statements and tell how well you're doing. So I'll post some slides that talk about money as the great performance measure. And I want to tell you today a little bit about how we're going to talk about financial statements to make it a little bit easier to understand and a little less daunting. Cool? Cool. Okay. When we talk about financial statements, I'm going to talk to you about a story. Your financial statements tell a story, the story of your business. And if we think about them more as a story, it makes it less painful to jump into financial statements. So I'm going to start out by giving you all just like some unbelievably wonderful news. How many of you have had Accounting 210? Yeah? I still, for the life of me, have no idea why they teach Accounting 210 the way they do, because I'm going to give you some good news. Unless you're an accounting major and you're going to be an accountant for someone, you will never do double entry bookkeeping again in your entire life. Never. Ever. Cool that you learn it. Never going to have to do it again. Now we have all these wonderful softwares called QuickBooks and Quicken, and there's other ones out there that are going to do all of that for you, and you're never going to have to worry about it again, ever. So there's your good news. Can I get an amen? Y'all all loved it, didn't you? Did y'all love that bookkeeping? No, you didn't. You don't have to do it anymore. Instead, what you're going to need to do is set up a good account system in your bookkeeping system. So I'm going to do a little share screen right now, and I'm going to go to the whiteboard. All right. Let me move this over to hold on one second. I want to share it on my other monitor. Make sure that I can get that up. I don't know why it just popped up that way this time. It worked well the other time. All right. Can y'all see the whiteboard now? Cool. Okay. Let's go back. Let's review where we've been for the semester, and then we're going to jump into the way that we're going to tell stories. So here, remember, we started out the semester with us. This is us. This is what we know. We've done a whole lot of self-evaluation, and we know who we need to surround ourselves with. And do you guys remember on the A team, one of the main people that I told you should have? Somebody take a guess. Who should you have?
Accountant.
An accountant. It is very important that you bring this accountant in the beginning. Go ahead and invest some time and some money to be sure you bring them in early. Because what the accountant is going to do is come in and they're going to set up your software and your bookkeeping systems. When you look at chapters 37, 38, and 39, it talks about like there's 2 ways of doing accounting. We're going to go with the accrual basis, and I'll talk about that a little more in the video that I'm going to post for you. But you want to bring them in because they're the ones who set up the chart of accounts, which you learn about in 37 and 38, and they're the ones that make sure that the story that we're going to tell is told correctly. And if you do everything in the beginning to set everything up correctly, then all you've got to do for the rest of the time that you're in business is just make sure that you fill in the blanks of the story correctly, and it'll spit it out for you. So have any of you ever been involved with creating like an electronic storyboard? Y'all ever been able to do that? Anybody like in film? No? What happens in film is, let's just say, and they have a lot of this software for kids and that's with online education for them. You can say, you can start to tell a story and you can say, My job is teaching, and I feel in teaching. I work at University of Alabama. And so you start to fill in all these blanks, and with each one of them, based on how you fill in the blank, it'll pop up this great little picture. And when you finish filling in all the blanks, it'll come up and there's this great software that'll tell a little story that talks about Gina's a teacher at the University of Alabama. Y'all ever seen anything like that? Anybody? Never got to see anything like that? That's a shame. Well, financial statements work the same way. So if you fill in the blanks correctly, then when you print your financial statements at the end of the month or whenever you do, it's going to pop out this little story for you that's going to tell you how you're doing. So when we talk about financial statements, we're going to talk about them as a story. And the reason that we are trying to determine what our financial statements are and what they tell us is because we need to continue to fill in that business canvas. So remember here, we've talked about the business canvas. Here, we know about the value proposition. We know about our customer segments. We know about our relationships. We know about channels. But we need to go down here and start talking about revenue for it. We need to talk about cost. And then we need to know about what resources we need to make this business work. Now, resources cover a lot of things, including human capital, which is what these are, but it also includes money. Some of you are going to be participating in ALDAG, in the business plan competition. You need to know how much money to ask for and what you're going to use it for and what's going to be the result of that money if you use it that way. They're going to ask you these questions. Your financial statements tell those stories for you. So we know now, we've already gone through observations. We have identified problems. You guys have come up with solutions. You've identified a potential customer segment or target market. You have written a value proposition, and now you know you need to test it, which is where customer validation comes in. You have done all of that, and because you've done all of that and you've adjusted your value proposition and customer segments, now we can fill in the whole right side here of the business canvas, and it's time to start with the left. So I want to catch everybody up with where we are and let you know that class is continuing the same way. This all still plays together like a math class. So it's all playing together. And the way that we start to talk about money as the great performance measure is I'm going to tell you about it in story form. It's in story form, and all of the characters in the story live in different houses. And we're going to talk about four houses that are really important. Now I'm going to save this whiteboard for you guys and post it. But just know we're going to have four houses here. And I am not an artist by any means, so feel free to laugh at me because it's kind of look like mushrooms. In the first house we will talk about are our startup expenses. This is everything that you have to spend money on prior to opening your doors for business. So this is everything. Here, so you can think of this timeline right here is that's the magic time we open our business. Now there's a variety of characters that live within the house called startup expenses. And those characters will eventually move into the other houses after you open. But it's really important that you keep these expenses separate because this is going to determine, when we get into chapters 12 and 13, how we ask for money and who we ask. During the startup phase is the most important time to get money, but it's also the hardest. So we've got to keep up with what we need money for, what we're going to use it for, and then as each one of these little line items that we've gotten money for in startup expenses start to jump into the other houses after we open, then we can keep up with, if I gave you $20,000 to go buy an asset and that asset jumped into another house, then you could tell me later on down the line how much money that asset made for you to show that it was worth it for me to give you $20,000. Is that making sense so far? Cool. Okay, so I'm going to introduce the other houses to you really quickly, just so you understand what we're talking about when I talk about the houses in the video that I'm going to give you. After we open the doors, then we can start to really develop our other houses. The next house we'll talk about is the income statement house. Income statement. Interesting thing about all the characters that live in these houses, some of these characters have nicknames. So the income statement has a nickname. We can either call it income statement, or sometimes people call it P&L. It's the same thing. So understand some of the characters will have nicknames. We'll need to learn all those nicknames so that we can tell the story effectively. The next house that we'll learn about is the balance sheet. The balance sheet's one of my favorites. The reason it is because it tells me how much I'm worth. I want to know that. I'm worth a lot. The final one that we will talk about is the cash flow statement. And the cash flow is going to tell us how much money I actually have in my pocket. And that one's really important for sustaining growth. So as we start to talk about financials for the business, please think about them in story form. Once I started thinking about them like this, it became really easier for me to jump into the financial statements and to enjoy them. So let's just say I printed some financial statements for a business a year ago, and I'm like, okay, so that's where I was, and I print some today. It's a really cool story because I can look at what happened over those 12 months and go, oh, look, in January, like I did something really well. Oof, in February, I didn't do something so well. But overall, the average of what I did worked out pretty good because I'm in a much better place now than I was a year ago. And that's how financial statements really, really work. So if we wanted to think about, okay, so last summer I was really, really fit. And then school started. And then this quarantine came. And I can't get out of the house. I'm just eating. I sit around all the time. Not really as fit as I used to be. I can look at this and say, uh-oh, the story is not really going the way I want it to go. So since it's not going the way I want it to go, I need to go and stop for just a second and say, okay, let's change the direction of this story. And we could think about financial statements in the very same framework. Questions so far? None yet? Okay. Now, each one of these houses that we're talking about here are going to have a different set of characters. And most of the characters just live within their house. It's going to be important that you know which characters live in each house. Occasionally, some of the characters will interact with each other. But for the most part, they still live within their house. So we will learn about each one of the houses. We'll learn which characters live in each house. And then we'll learn about how they interact with each other. Once we do that, then we can start to look at what happens with these characters over time. And we can start to see what story our financial statements are going to tell us. After we do that and we get a good understanding of that, then we can start looking at like chapters 12 and 13, and that'll tell us, where do we go get money? Like here, startup, hardest place to get money. Where do we go for that? Here, if we're wanting to grow or we want to be worth more, what do we need to do? And that is really, this is the whole framework where I'm going to talk about in teaching you financial statements. Okay? Anything that you guys want to ask or talk about? One of the things that I want you guys to be sure that you do is I really need you to go through and look at chapters 37, 38, 39, and 12 and 13. I wanted you to do that prior to seeing the video because I don't want you to think that the video or the slides that I'm going to post for you are all inclusive. They're not. They're really just supplements that help you better understand the why of what you learn. Now, learning financial statements is not difficult at all, but it is something new to most people. So it's kind of like a deep dive into a new language, and you're learning how to tell a story and read and write a story in a new language. We've got just a short amount of time to do that. So I want you to jump in and do a quick deep dive in looking at those chapters and understanding the chart of accounts and what all chart of accounts are, what bookkeeping is, the different kinds that you can do, so that when you do look at the video and the slides, that the why and the how to tell the story makes more sense. All right? Okay. Now that's really everything that I wanted to cover with you all today. One other logistics things that I did want to tell you about is this afternoon after I finish teaching at 3:15, I'll send out an email to everybody, and in that email I'm going to put a link. I have set up a Calendly, and that is really, it's just like a calendar where you guys can go look at availability that I have. If any of you need to set up a one-on-one Zoom meeting with me, then you can go pull up that link and you can set it up, and it'll schedule like a one-on-one 30-minute Zoom with me. And I'll do that in replacement of office hours if you have questions about anything for class, or if you have questions about ALDAC, if you're competing there. And I'll send that out this afternoon. And then this evening, I'll get the slides and the video posted for you. And I'll post the other videos from today from our talk too. So you can cover that. And I will, although that's scribble, I will save the whiteboard for you. So y'all can look at that too. Do y'all see that? Were y'all seeing that? Or was I just talking to myself?
We see it.
Okay, good. So I'll share that with you as well. But I'm here to help. I don't want this to be anything that's very frightening for you all. Let me find my mouse. I don't want it to be frightening, but it is a little bit difficult. So it's one of those, I hate that it's happening right now, because this is not something that I can let up on. This is learning to read financial statements and what they are. If you can do that, you will differentiate yourselves from 80% of the population. And that is good if you're going to own your own business. It's good even if you're an employee. It's probably better if you're an employee, because it helps you better understand why the people you're working for are making the decisions they're making. It's because they're trying to alter the story. And most people don't get that. Most people just think it's people make decisions in a very self-serving manner, and that's normally not true. Normally people are good, but there's a big picture that most people don't understand. Yeah? Any feedback? Anything y'all want to know? Everybody's still healthy, right?
How are our group projects looking?
Pardon? Oh, yeah, I'm going to tell you that. I have not looked at the videos yet. I've been going through the written portion of them, and so far they're looking pretty good. There's a lot to look at there. I'll go through all of those and look at them, and then I'm going to go back, and the last thing I'll do is go through the videos. I want to finish Tiger King before I watch your videos. I'm just kidding. But it's looking good. You should have all of your grades in 3D6 prior to the April 24th date that you need to decide pass, fail, or take your letter grade. The way that I set the schedule up should be that I'll post one more assignment for you guys on Thursday, so start looking for that. That'll be your final assignment for the class. So you have one more assignment and you will have one more exam. And then if you want to take the final exam, that's optional as long as you've taken the first 3. So you should have all of your grades. It should work for you, I hope.
When is the pass or fail deadline?
It's April 24th.
24th. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Will we have any more of these the Zoom classes like this?
We will. If you want to.
When are they?
I like seeing y'all. Huh?
When would they be? Like what?
It's on that schedule. So if you'll look on I posted it on Blackboard and I have them on there. Also, I just want to check in on y'all. Some of y'all just making sure y'all are all good. I'm looking at everybody's faces. I want to make sure everybody's okay. Sean Duffy, I saw that you popped up on video, and I am not kidding about an F for a snake. Do not make the Winfield come out of me.
Now, like literally on the other side of my phone is my snake's cage. I promise you, she's a sweetheart. I bring it to parties and bars and stuff, and people are like, oh, I hate snakes. I'm scared of snakes. And then they're like, hey, what do I need to do to get a snake?
I can assure you that won't happen with me. I have an unrational, unhealthy fear, and I'm okay with it.
Sorry, I've gotten people over those fears before.
I have no desire to overcome it. I don't.
One time I was really bored and snuck her into a lecture class.
Y'all. Somebody would have had to call 911. I'd be dead.
I stayed in the back and we just chilled. I learned some stuff that class. It's pretty weird.
If I have my Apple Watch on right now, I'd tell you all my heart rate, but I can assure you it's increased. All right. Financial statements. Any questions about that or about class or just expectations? Everybody feeling comfortable and okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm here for you. Like I said, I'll send that email out this afternoon. Y'all can schedule something. If you look on there and the times are all booked up and you still need something, just let me know. But I just want to be here for you and make sure that if there's anything that you need, that you know you can ask me. Now that we're on Zoom, I'm much more relaxed. I think it's really important to teach you guys about soft skills and like be at class on time and those kind of things because it's something really important for the workplace once you graduate. But things are a little different now. So you're seeing the real side of Gina. I don't really like being that strict person. I'm really much more fun than that. And I do want you guys to know that I'm here if you need anything. Okay. All right. If not, then that is all for today. And it's so good to see you. And I hope to see your faces again next week. Some of you I'll see in just a little while.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. See y'all. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Thanks.